Hello, and a very warm welcome to our channel. This morning we give you a piece of breaking news. Charles and William completely snubbed Meghan and Harry on their projects. Sussex is fast becoming irrelevant amid royal family projects. Early today, according to a royal expert, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are fast becoming irrelevant as Prince William and Prince Charles get to work on ambitious projects. He argued that while William and Charles are getting stuck into huge global projects, Meghan and Harry are just sounding off about things from their Montecito mansion. The Duke of Cambridge and the Prince of Wales have both launched hugely significant environmental initiatives this year, the Earthshot Prize and the Sustainable Markets Initiative. Meanwhile, Meghan and Harry's work has been mainly around video calls and interviews, in which they have been speaking about tackling online hate and racism by nonsense. William's Earthshot Prize is a £50 million project, whereby £1 million will be offered to 5 people each year for 10 years for coming up with groundbreaking solutions to key environmental issues. The initiative, organized in collaboration with Sir David Attenborough, has the following aims: protect and restore nature, clean our air, revive our oceans, build a waste-free world, and fix our climate. Meanwhile, Charles launched his Sustainable Markets Initiative at the World Economic Forum in Davos, and aims to bring industry leaders and investors together with innovators to put the environment and sustainability at the heart of the global economy. Having campaigned on environmental issues for 5 decades, this is the prince's biggest initiative to date. And with the Sussexes, they became news when acting against protocol, or crying help as eternal victims, and voicing regrettable statements. Eventually, it becomes irrelevant when overused, like car alarms or the cry wolf repeatedly. They make themselves persona non grata and are now desperate for any attention the media will give them. So glad that finally karma is visiting this pair. Whatever is coming their way will be no more than they deserve. They are an embarrassment, and Harry has proved a disappointment and utter disgrace to the firm. However, by releasing details of the projects being championed by William and Charles, the firm is sending out subliminal signals that the royal family is fighting back against all the toxicity and spitefulness that has come from the Markle camp over the past few weeks. This is and will continue to overshadow anything Harry and his narcissistic wife can do. These two lurch from one bandwagon to another, trying to be relevant, and it's not working. They clearly were disingenuous when they claimed they wanted privacy. Even more so when they were stripped of all their titles, and Harry is no longer a prince and has no place in the line of succession, so they can no longer use their titles to grab publicity. Indeed, Pod Save the Queen is hosted by Anne Griper and features Daily Mirror royal editor Russell Myers. Mr. Myers argued that Harry and Meghan are sitting in their ivory tower, talking about their viewpoint on issues, rather than getting out and talking to people. In comparison to the incredible work being done by William and Charles, he suggested that perhaps they may be getting a bit irrelevant. He said, quote, "They've got to be careful here, sitting in an ivory tower, sounding off about things that are just coming into your head without people to advise you. I really don't know who their advisors are at the moment. It's not coming across well, and they are fast becoming a bit irrelevant, especially when you're seeing the Cambridges and Prince Charles speaking about massive global issues like this. They're going to be left behind a lot of." Yes, agree. They are already irrelevant, and I wish they would just shut up. Meghan and Harry do my head in. Well done to Prince William and Prince Charles for launching their important and exciting projects. Catherine is making her mark too and doing really well, bless her. With our dear Queen and Princess Anne, who works hard and doesn't get enough credit, who needs the Duke and Duchess of Winge? Catherine's wildlife photograph entries were outstanding. Hard job to pick a winner. Shame Markle chose to be controversial and overshadowed the report written. I think Harry probably does realize, which is why he looks so utterly miserable and drained. It's just Meghan who cannot see it. But then my understanding is narcissists can never see the truth as they are too self-obsessed. However, Ms. Griper argued that the pair have signed up to be public speakers with the Harry Walker Agency, and so perhaps their new role is more to do with that side of things than it is about the traditional royal work. After all, the Sussexes have stepped down as senior royals and are carving out a new, unprecedented role for themselves. The pair also discussed Meghan and Harry's latest video, in which they launched their Black History Month Next Generation Trailblazers. In particular, they discussed one comment from Harry, which Ms. Griper said she found a little bit weird. Harry claimed that while London is seen as one of the most diverse cities in the world, when you walk around, it doesn't feel as diverse as it actually is. Ms. Griper exclaimed, "Mate, where are you going?" Mr. Myers added, "Why is he talking about London? They haven't lived in London for ages. They haven't been in London." I thought that was pretty tone deaf as well, because that's not London. London is one of the most diverse cities in the world. Indeed, Trevor Phillips, former chair of the Equality and Human Rights Commission, pointed out in his article in The Times that 2 out of 5 Londoners are not white, and thus the city's diversity is difficult to miss. He said that Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's Black History Month Next Generation Trailblazers list has fallen into the oldest trap in the book. Before that, Harry and Meghan have launched their list that recognizes notable Black leaders whose influence is making a positive and lasting impact on British life. Each person they nominated was also asked to identify another member of the Black community in Britain whose cause-driven work is creating a lasting legacy for the next generation. Mr. Phillips argued that while the list contains many great people with admirable achievements, there is a critical flaw in the project as a whole. The list contains fantastic artists, athletes, actors, and activists, but no doctors, scientists, lawyers, business leaders, or teachers. Mr. Phillips claims this falls into the trap of showing Black people as, quote, interesting but not important, prominent but not powerful. He wrote in The Times this month, "There is nothing wrong with the trailblazers Harry and Meghan have chosen. Several are admirable artists, actors, athletes, and activists. But Black History Month was inaugurated to show that we Black folk are wealth creators, inventors, and professionals. The list has no doctors, scientists, lawyers, business leaders, or teachers. The Harry and Meghan show has fallen straight into the oldest trap in the book, showing Black folk as interesting but not important, prominent but not powerful. Sadly, this may say less about Black Britain and more about a couple who could have changed the world, but have settled for pleading, 'Let me entertain you.'" Mr. Phillips also took issue with some of the things the couple said in their interview with the Evening Standard about the list. For example, Harry claimed that while London was, quote, celebrated as one of the most diverse cities in the world, when you get out on the street and actually talk to people, it doesn't feel as diverse as it actually is. Branding this comment puzzling, Mr. Phillips pointed out that 2 out of every 5 Londoners are non-white, and so its diversity is not so easy to miss. He added that he felt sorry for Harry when discussing terms like structural racism. He claimed it was empty jargon and made him sound like a 1980s Polytechnic lecturer. Mr. Phillips, who is currently the chairman of the board of the National Equality Standard, also criticized Meghan for claiming she never realized that Britain has a Black History Month. He argued that Black History Month was launched in 1987 and has been widely celebrated for 20 years, and that Meghan's words emphasized, quote, how little she learned about Britain in the 2 years she lived in the country. Mr. Phillips said it was a shame that he felt the couple had missed the mark on this, because their union had the potential to be a strong message of bridging divides in the UK. He insisted that in order for them to use their star power for good, they needed to change their production team pronto. And you? Do you agree with these opinions on my news? If yes, please like and share my video with anyone you think will also love it. If not, leave me your views and everyone also discuss it. And don't forget to subscribe to the Sussex Daily News channel to get more news about the royal family. Now have a good day and see you in the next videos.